Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever she should identify as? It is your boy Cam from Tweeking Media back at it again with another episode of our Nerd Culture podcast, Attack on Culture. If you're new here, you clicked on, you're like, what the heck is going on? What am I looking at? Welcome. Hopefully you're here to stay. This is Attack on Culture, like I just mentioned. This is a Nerd Culture podcast. We talk about all of the latest and greatest in terms of gaming, anime, movies, TV shows, comic books, you name it, we talk about it. So again, welcome. Hopefully you're here to stay. Usually it's three of us, but the boy Trail Sav has some life things to take care of, and the show must go on. So with me, got everybody's favorite Unk, the washed up gamer himself. Chris, go ahead and say what's up to the people.
Yo, man. It's all good, G. Things been cool. Fortunately, Trail couldn't join us this episode, but hey, man, I'm blessed, G, either way to be here.
Yes, sir. So hopefully you guys looking forward to, we got a lot of stuff to cover. We were not able to record last week, so there's a couple things last week, the week before, and this week that we want to catch up with you guys and give our thoughts and opinions on. But before we get into that, real quick, while I have your attention, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell icon to be notified of all future posts we make on this channel, and share the video across all of your nerds. Help us get to 1K sub, guys. That is our goal for this year. We are close. You guys are keeping the support strong. So thank you very much in advance for your continued support and watching the video. And also, I want to also make this disclaimer before we start going over our topics for this podcast. If you're watching this on the YouTube side, I timestamp these episodes. So if there is any topic in particular that you want to hear our thoughts on, feel free to skip ahead. If you watch the whole thing, look, you a real one, and I highly appreciate you. But if there's something that you just want to hear us talk about, because we go be yapping a lot, so if you don't want to hear us yapping about anime, you want us to talk about video game stuff, feel free to skip ahead. A view is a view in my book. So like I said before, we got a lot of stuff in the anime side. We're going to be talking about some stuff going on in the winter season, particularly with Fire Force and JJK. For the gaming side, Capcom been going crazy. We're going to talk a little bit about Resident Evil and also the recently released Monster Hunter Stories 3. On the TV side, your boy tuned in to the One Piece Season 2 live action, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. And then on the news side, we got a lot of stuff going on in the industry. A follow-up to the Highguard situation that we talked about. PlayStation and Steam's relationship, they bitter exes now. We got some more news as far as Overwatch, with Jeff spilling the beans about some things that happen behind the scenes on Overwatch, AI being AI, and some success stories in this recent market when a lot of people are saying gaming is dead and there's no such thing as good games anymore, which is a lie. So hopefully you guys looking forward to that. So let's go ahead and jump right into it with some anime tings. So we have Fire Force, which we've been talking a lot about on this podcast, rightfully so, because it has been absolutely amazing. The second core, season 3 has been going crazy. We have, at the time of this recording, we have 2 more episodes left, episode 23 and 24. Last podcast episode, I talked a little bit about the Tamaki episode. So if you are interested in hearing my thoughts and opinion on that, be sure to check out that podcast episode. I will link that to the end of this video. So we have 2 episodes in between the podcast sessions. We have the Arthur versus Dragon, and then we have this episode that came out this week with Shinra coming back. Both absolutely fantastic episodes. Before I give my thoughts on it, Chris, what are your thoughts been on Fire Force so far?
Man, look, these past 4 episodes have been fire, literally. So, but quickly, just because you did talk about Atomic episode, I wasn't present. Hilarious. That's all I'm gonna chalk it up as.
Yeah, it's a funny episode.
It was a prime example of how we used to complain. Dang, we're tired of the fan service. Stop using this child and gooning her. And then they said, hey, you know what? We're going to use it all for this episode. That's literally what happened. But in the crowd's reaction made it even more hilarious because that's people complaining. But anywho, but that Arthur episode, look, man, Arthur versus Dragon, they knew what they were doing. The animation team knew what they were doing with that episode. The storytelling in itself as well the fight, the motivation, all of it was just A1G. Like, I watched the episode twice, and it's rare for me to watch any anime episode twice back to back like that. And I was just really impressed in terms of how they handled that. So shout out to the animation team. You guys was definitely in y'all bag in regards to that. This week's episode really good as well. I could tell this is where you could tell they fast forward.
It feels like they fast forward a lot of the doppelganger fights for sure.
So, which I'm not mad at, but hey, it is what it is. The funniest one is what's bro name? The strong
Beanie Maru. Yeah, that
Beanie Maru. He's like, so y'all don't think I'm that raw? That got me. He's like, so y'all got.
So y'all must secretly think I'm weak or something.
I don't like that, man. That was too easy because I really thought, like, oh, this is going to be raw. I'm like, oh, okay, but that was really good. And then just to return to Shinra and just what was going on in the what you'll call it,
Adola,
the Adola and all of that. Plus the return of Captain Burns was pretty cool. He was like, "Hey, look, I took over my doppelganger, G. That's how I get down, G." Made him look more of a real nigga. Respect to Captain Burns and how he got how he overcame his doppelganger, and just Shinra's return was really raw as well. It was like, all right, now I'm about to be the hero that I claim to be, and I want you guys to acknowledge me to be. So I'm excited to see where these next 2 episodes go.
For sure. I don't know if I mentioned this in any of the other podcast episodes where we talked about Fire Force, but this has convinced me, because I rarely do this. I've only done this with Haikyuu just because of how much I love that show. But I want to collect the full manga for Fire Force after I'm done with this season. Not only that, but I'm actually probably going to do a rewatch of Soul Eater, because obviously, if you know, it's Fire Force is a prequel to Soul Eater, so like I kind of want to just go right back just to see if there's some things that I missed out on that connect to Fire Force, and I'm like, oh, that's that and that's that. So a rewatch I feel like is necessary with this show. But I have been thoroughly enjoying this. Like I said before, in terms of winter anime, this is by far easily my favorite of the roster for winter anime. It's been great. But the news that we got where they were like, we're going to wrap everything up in 12 episodes. Scary at first, but they have been, the pacing has been on point. The Arthur vs. Dragon, this was the episode that I was looking forward to the most, particularly because there was a particular manga panel that I wanted to see, and they did it justice, which was Arthur's like final attack where he like split the earth in half. Yeah. Beautifully animated, like well done. The whole fight was just the entire episode itself was just very well done. The choreography was on point. The voice acting was on point. The set piece, as far as the environmental stuff with them being in space and the moon and breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. It was a very, very great. It was something that, like, if you were someone who was like me, who was looking forward to this, because this is Arthur's big moment. And for someone like me, because like I kind of low-key hated on Arthur a little bit when I first saw him. I was like, I don't really like this dude. But his character growth throughout the show and kind of how his character in particular benefits greatly from the Great Cataclysm, because it's all about your imagination. So it's kind of like a buff for him, because his whole life, all he's been doing is imagining himself as this Night King who's going to face off against this dragon and save the world. So the setup, again, this has just been, Fire Force is a great example of like how you set up a great payoff. I've been enjoying it thoroughly. This episode, Shinra coming back, casually, lifting the moon with his feet. Power scalers are going crazy right now, because they go say this, that kick was 55,000 kilotons or some goofy stuff like that. Whatever nerd science they're going to use. But again, looking forward to seeing what happens in the next 2 episodes. Even though I have a relative idea how the series ends, I don't know the whole context behind it. So looking forward to being enlightened on that. So that's all I got to say on Fire Force. Anything else you want to add, Chris?
No, they've been doing their thing. Now wrap it up, because this is where a lot of anime go.
It is
wrong.
True.
How do you wrap the show up?
Can you stick the landing? Because a lot of especially when it comes to shonens, great shonens, and in that ending is you missed out on that in aerospace training. But I have hopes for this one, so hopefully we can stick the landing. Again, we'll give our thoughts when it all concludes, and 2 weeks. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you thinking about Fire Force so far? Is it something you rocking with? Is it something that you like? I'm a Margarita and they not doing it justice. I want to know. So with that, let's move on to JJK. Now I added this because I did want to kind of highlight this because, hey, if Fire Force wasn't here, I'm not gonna lie, JJK would be like the best of this season for sure. In my opinion, at least from if you're somebody who, like, I'm not an animation buff, but even I cannot hate on JJK. Like what Mappa has been doing, especially in season 3, has been absolutely phenomenal. Like genuinely, like every episode feels like you are going to the theaters to watch this episode. They have been doing great work. Memes aside, because like dang near every episode of JJK has some meme worthy moment that you could turn into a GIF. It has been absolutely so. Like I wanted to highlight the I think what's his name, Hirugami. I'm probably butchering his name. The lawyer dude.
Oh, the lawyer guy. Nah,
lawyer
dude. His name. Lawyer.
That episode between him and Yuji. Oh, the choreography. That just, hey, they made a dude with a toy hammer look raw as hell, bro. Like I can't
lie. His curse power is raw though.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Like just as somebody who, you know, saying like some, you know, sometimes I like to hate just for being memes or whatever, but I can't sit up here and go like, oh, you know, oh, JJK is overrated, blah 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 blah. But like when I see episodes like this, I'm like, hey, they doing something, because like the fight scenes, just the overall way they're handling like the environmental details, some of the setup for some of the jokes or even the serious moments, and the way they kind of handle dialogue between characters has been very well done. Again, I don't know what you know, hopefully you MAPPA employees can see your family sometime soon, but whatever y'all doing in that studio, bro, keep cooking, because man, I really do think that season 3, in my personal opinion, of JJK is probably the best we've seen from MAPPA. Like this is like I feel like this is their like creme de la creme, because like I think that a lot of like, yo, you have the movies, you got Chainsaw Man, you have all this other stuff that's just good, but there's something, and I don't know, again, let us know in the comments if you agree with me. There's something about this season in particular, it really does feel like they're putting a lot of effort to really like really showcase not only just JJK's culling game as far as manga adaptation, but like what they want to do, the direction they want to take with the overall tone of Jujutsu Kaisen with this animation direction. You can feel it a lot with season 3 in particular. So those are just my thoughts. I wanted to kind of bring that up. Chris, do you have anything you want to say in regards to that?
Overall, how like with JJK, what I've been doing, I just let the episodes build more because I want to see the fights. But the thing is, it makes me happy I am, because like you said, the animation, once again, MAPPA animators, I really do hope you guys see the sun at night, G.
Man,
I really do hope you guys see the sun, bro, because there's no way. But I remember reading somewhere that how they do, like, what got me is how they do the dialogue. So like the episode with Yuji talking to the guy in that room.
Oh, Hakiri, yeah.
The way that was, it looked,
that was really good.
So I remember somebody saying they kind of used some type of mocap to kind of give it more of a lifelike type of feeling. So if they really are doing that, shout out to them, because you keeping the animation style consistent while giving lifelike movements even in dialogue. So
and also doing justice, because a lot of people like Hikari. He's a fan favorite character.
No, dude, yeah, I remember seeing a lot of people when I was speed reading the last arc, reading it. But dude, like that, like even dude is raw as hell. Hikari is a real one. Like I just like, especially with how he just like, gee, what do you mean you don't know about?
You don't know Gojo?
I'm video. He said, "No, something off." But anyway, but just that whole scene going to their fight. You fast forward to them now with Yuji and Megumi in trying to pretty much meet the lawyer guy, and then even Megumi's fight. I didn't watch the episode yet, but those setups, like all of that, is really the build up to the big moment, which is the fights that we're getting right now, and make it. I'm appreciative of it. It's still not better than Fire Force, but I get the hype more, because for me, it's just really just the dialogue that gets me, but the animation of the dialogue keeps me in tune, because it's like, oh, I feel like I'm watching a movie. I'm watching something that's like, oh, this is important. Let me keep tuned in. Don't let me just be like,
it's not static PNG images talking to each other. It feels like they're like actual people talking.
Lifelike. So once again, Mappa, you guys know what the hell you guys are doing. Just let them people see their families, G. Let them see their families, G. Look, don't be Amazon of Japan, G. Let them people go. But JJK's been in a bag. Every episode I do watch, I'm very much engaged compared to like other anime I've watched that are very story driven. And this arc is story driven and rule driven. So you got to really know what the hell is going on to really pay attention to what's going on. But they've been doing their thing. Shout out to Mappa, G. And once again, shout out to the animation team, bro. I got y'all on y'all GoFundMe.
Yeah, so again, let us know what you guys think about what's been happening in JJK and any other anime that is dropping during the winter season. We want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So moving on, we got some gaming things to talk about. Basically, it was funny because I was looking at a lot of the pre-orders and stuff that are happening as far as games that I'm going to be getting in the future, and I was like, it's like Capcom, because like
got a strong release.
This year Capcom is going crazy, because so obviously Resident Evil 9. I will give my thoughts. I'll give my thoughts on Resident Evil first, me and Chris, and then I'll go into Monster Hunter Stories. That's also Capcom. Then this week. Later on this week, they have the release of the Mega Man Star Force collection, which, if you were me, that was my childhood. That was DS. Loved the Star Force series. So they have that releasing with all three of the games that released on the DS. And then next month, they have Pragmata, which is the platformer action game that they were doing about the dude and the little android girl. So it's Capcom. Capcom going crazy this year. So shout out to them. But obviously, we're here to talk about Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil Requiem. So first, let's let Unc, you know what I'm saying? Unc was finally able to use his paperweight and actually use it for gaming. So give us your thought or your impressions, or where you are so far, how you feeling about Resident Evil 9.
All right. So once again, because of life. But either way, I'm well far in this game, because this game is short if you're a speed runner or how you choosing to go about the game. But I'm pretty much most of my way through of the care center with Leon, because that's where I'm getting my lick back on niggas. Because literally, look, doing that part with Grace, I lowered the difficulty because I got to know it. I'm like, oh, I'll play Resident Evil. I know I can survive. No. But we'll get to like certain parts of the story in a second that explain my Grace's new FBI boss name, because dude need to get fired. Everybody. But this is a really great example of Capcom using the great parts of the survivor horror elements from 7, somewhat of 8, because Ethan turned into a real nigga as 8 evolved. But the pure horror elements from 7, placed it on here with a really helpless child that is Grace, and then saying, you know what, Leon has been here, done that. This man is prepped. Technically, a lot of this is light work for him. You get to have your action-based, still horror elements, but extreme action-based elements with Leon, because guess what? He's done this all before. He's been through bigger situations, arguably, as well, if you count 6, even though the fan base hates 6. But so I love how they went about that. It's a perfect balance. I like how, at least right now, you're experiencing certain stuff as Grace, go through with Leon. That's a great touch to it. Also, I like Gideon. Dude is hilarious. The little moments I say, dude is probably the most serious, unserious dude ever in terms of a villain for Resident Evil series. So I respect folks altogether for how he gets down, because that man was in public, saw Leon chasing, said, pew pew. Nope, you ain't about to get me yet, G. Sorry. And then just how he caught up with Leon is hilarious too. I'm like, bro, that was like a little creepy, G, but you're a villain in a Resident Evil world. I expect you to be somewhat of a creep. Not this type of creep, but hey, it is what it is. But gameplay wise is really good. Game looks beautiful. I will give them that. Like I said, the horror elements, you definitely feel it. And for somebody like me who has a higher tolerance of horror, but not insensitive to it like our homie Chaz, because for him this is comical.
He don't care. He doesn't care.
If we was to get our homie Chaz on here, he'll probably be able to go into full detail on how like it don't.
The dude will just boot up Resident Evil 7 or 8 and speed run it just for fun. Like
exactly.
That's the type of person he is.
Literally, that's how he is. But either way, but still, the horror elements, like when they showed her how they introduced her the first time, I was like, hey, look, man, I'm about to toss this controller. I almost tossed this controller. I was like, what y'all on, bro? Like, seriously, what is y'all on? But even then, it goes back to, once again, when you play with Grace, you post to legit feel scared, and Grace legit is scared, which goes back in the gameplay. She will get you killed. If you're not paying attention and focused and locked in or know where you're going, Grace's fear will kill you. Because once again, she's one of the worst FBI trained operative or employees of all time. So once again, the FBI in the Resident Evil universe, everybody needs to be fired. That's another story for itself. But Grace will fall. She will trip. If you look behind you, she will fall and trip. And if you're not paying attention,
that's only if you're in third person. If you're playing in first person, she does not do that.
Yeah, she doesn't do that. But even still, she moves slow in first person. It's still, you still feel in first person, you feel like, oh yeah, I'm probably about to die because that's how slow she moves. But I love those little aspects of showing her fear. Shout out to the voice actor as well. It gives you it increases the immersion of the feeling of naturally like, dang, okay, this is real for her. This is somebody who's truly helpless in comparison to Ethan, who's in a freaking crazy house, or even like somebody like in the past, Chris and them in RE1 and 2 and 3, where it's like, gee, y'all are not really that scared right now about what y'all are experiencing. So I love how they really went about it with Grace. But just know, Grace will get you killed if you're not paying attention, because you have to sneak. You have to be very creative in terms of how you get around certain zombies or even monsters and stuff, especially in the care center, because you're trying to save what's the little girl name? Emily. Yeah, you're trying to get all the pieces and stuff for that. That can be frustrating. While me, I'm a collector. I want to collect things that I know will help me. Those antique coins got me smoked a couple times because of everybody's favorite meme right now. Blind folks, he hears everything.
Yeah.
That man threw me out. Okay, if you watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I wasn't paying attention because I'm thinking, okay, I think I got around him. All I hear is that thing coming swoop into a doorway. And guess who's there? Chunk big ass. And I was like, yep, go ahead and hit the I'm dead screen. It happened twice, G. I was like, yeah. I switched it to casual until I got back to Leon, G, because I ain't about to stand be disrespected like that. I don't care. But really great game. A very great game from what I'm experiencing. I love the dynamics. I love just the perfection of splitting two different types of of what Resident Evil is. And literally, I would argue say perfected it. I'm scared to know what they're going to do for the next game, though, because you really have to step it up entirely for the next game. But I'm impressed. I'm very much impressed.
Yep, for sure. So I have completed the game since our last time with me in the podcast. I completed the game. multiple times.
Oh shit!
And so now I'm in the position because I think I'm actually going for the platinum. So for people who know, you have to beat the game 4 times on each difficulty. You have to beat it on casual, standard, modern, standard, classic, and insanity. Right now I'm on standard, classic, though I have done 3 playthroughs of the game so far, 2 on casual, more so for the 2 on casual and 1 on standard modern. So the runs on casual that I did were for some run specific trophies. There's a trophy where you have to beat the game without crafting. There's a trophy where you have to beat the game without using the blood collector that Grace gets. There's a trophy where you cannot use any healing items at all. And then there's the speed running trophy. So I did do the speed running trophy on standard modern. I beat the game in 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, and this is coming from someone. If you talk to Cam 1 year back, Chris said, I have very low tolerance for horror. I scare very easily. Like Cam from 1 year ago, that first cutscene where we met the girl would have been nope.
Cut this game off.
Tax write off, and I would call it a day. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself to actually fully play the game. And like I said, I've already given a lot of my thoughts as far as the gameplay stuff in our previous podcast episode, so I won't beat a dead horse and say those same talking points again. All I'm saying is right now, what you're going through right now, Chris, null and void. When you get those 50,000 points and you unlock unlimited ammo, that's every person's Grace dream. Becomes Grace instead of a police steady watching me every day with armed and dangerous Grace. When I tell you that the playthrough, because I ran through, I can basically, the care center is light work for me. I know where everything is. I get through it. I can get through it in like less than 30 minutes. It's very easy to get through that, especially when you have unlimited ammo. When I'm Grace with that Requiem, bang, 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 chef dude in the kitchen, bang, bang, bang. Big folks that walks into the big folks that when you get the level 1 wristband, you don't even make it down the stairs. His blood is splattered at the door leading to where you have to get the
see first thing. Pop up, be like, all right,
as soon as you first pop up, boom, 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 dead. I love it. I love it. It rewards you because now instead, like at their first playthrough, you're like, oh snap, okay, I got to figure out what I want to do. I got limited resources. What I'm supposed to do. That second playthrough is like, it's so fun because I know like it, and I would love for there to be a comment. Like if they ever, because we'll talk about a little bit of some Resident Evil 9 stuff later in our news segment. I would have loved for there to be some dialogue where if you're Leon and like, let's say for instance, as Grace, you killed everybody in the care center. He goes down and goes like, what the hell happened, Grace?
Because I could only imagine like, I gave her that gun on that one bullet.
Yeah. And so that's why. And then I'm also in the playthrough I'm doing right now. I got the infinite rocket launcher with Leon, and ooh boy, that is so light work, so fun to run through. So overall, it's like the game, your first playthrough, you know, it's a mix of horror and some excitement. It just turns to pure fun once you unlock an infinite ammo and things like that. And I know some Resident Evil diehards are like, well, it's not a legit run if you shut up. Look, man, I don't care. I'm having fun.
The first real run is always the first and second playthrough. Once you unlock infinite ammo, it's called, I'm just playing for the vibes at this
point. I'm having fun. I'm trying to get the platinum, bro. Like if I want to challenge myself in insanity with no infinite ammo, cool. But like I'm trying to get the platinum, so I'm trying to run through these things and call it a day. But overall, like I said before in my previous episode, if I were to give this game an overall rating of just like how it wraps up the culmination of everything with Leon and Grace, 2 very strong characters. Leon is already my solidified GOAT, and you know he can do no wrong in my eyes. Grace, she takes some getting used to. At first I didn't like her like at all, but then she grew on me. throughout the game, and as far as like her decision making, her bravery that she showcases, and then her overall connection to the overall plot. The villains are funny in this game. Like genuinely, if you just take 2 seconds to think about their overall objective, you just realize how stupid they are. And then also the whole thing with the whole like, you must know what Elpis is, and the password basically being 123. It might as well have been that. So it's like it's funny. So but yeah, it's good. Capcom is teasing a lot. I know a lot of Resident Evil fans are theory crafting as who's Leon's significant other, because there's a scene where he puts a
ring.
There's a scene where he puts a ring back on his finger, and so people are like, is it Ada? Is it Claire? Who knows? Capcom will probably tease it to milk more money out of us, or maybe they'll expand on it in the DLC. We shall see. But overall, solid 9 out of 10, high 9 out of 10. Great game, fantastic start to a strong contender for Game of the Year. And definitely, if you're someone like me, like I said before, if you're somebody like me who is you scare easily, listen, if I can get through this game, and I'm saying, if I can get through this game, you can get through this game. So definitely recommend it. And with that, we can move on. So I'm going to give you guys, so this Friday, another Capcom game drop. This is for Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflections, I believe it's called. So came out this Friday. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. I haven't played too much of the Monster Hunter story games. I did play a little bit of the second game when it first came out on the Switch. I didn't play the first game, but I like Monster Hunter. I like turn-based RPGs. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the game. And so far, I have been enjoying it. I don't know how far I am in the game. I'm in kind of like the second major area for those who have been playing the game. But I would say it definitely combines the two elements, I think, pretty well, from my understanding. The element of a lot of the Monster Hunter, where you have like crafting your gear, preparing for monsters, crafting certain items and accessory to help you with the battles. And it also kind of combines the element of the turn-based RPG strategies, where you have access to at least 6 monsters in your party. And basically it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing, where you have power, technical, and speed attacks. Power beats technical, technical beats speed, speed beats power. So you're kind of combining those elements to help you overturn the monster fights. And the monster fights kind of feel like the turn-based version of you actually fighting a monster in a typical Monster Hunter game. So you kind of have that element of like the battle. It's not like something, depending on where you are and like your level and your monster setup, battles can be quick, but it's kind of like, it's more of a set piece sometimes, where it's like, you kind of have to, you're going to be in there for a while, and you got to strategize and make sure you're doing what you got to do to beat the boss. There's a lot of mechanics in there. There are feral monsters, which help you unlock campsites, which help you basically, I guess, in a weird way, breed monsters, because there are endangered species in the game, and then you have to kind of beat monsters you have to beat invasive monsters in order to unlock the egg of an endangered species. You set that animal out into the wild, you collect more eggs, set them out in the wild, and eventually the monsters repopulate, and you can farm like really like better monsters, because monsters have ranks. It goes from C to S. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of mechanics in this game. So like if you're a Monster Hunter fan, where if you played a Monster Hunter game, it's not just I fight this monster, I collect his material, I move on. There's a lot more to it, right? It's a very grind heavy game. This game is grind heavy, but not in the sense of like you need to farm monsters to grind levels, but just farming materials, farming for better, they call them monsties in this game, farming for better monsties, things of that nature. So I think it's kind of funny. It's very similar to Resident Evil 9, where they combine the two aspects of gameplay of a Monster Hunter game and a turn-based RPG, and I think they did it well. The characters in the game, I mean, they're not like, oh wow, the best characters ever. I'm not gonna sit up here and go like, oh, these are like Capcom's greatest characters ever. They're serviceable. You can create your own main character, male or female. Pretty decent character customization. I have to give hats off though to whoever is the character designer when it comes to, I don't know, hey, there's a lot of characters, like the females in the game are good, but there's one in particular. Her name is Korra. Hey, if you design, whoever is in charge of designing characters for that game, whoever designed Korra, give them a raise. I don't know how y'all did it, but I have never seen a Monster Hunter character that looked like her. And I know people like Gemma in Worlds or in Wilds. She blows Gemma out the water, bro. There's no competition. She looks way, way, way better than Gemma. So, shout out to the character design. I like the art style, like the more anime-esque art style of the game. The environmental detail was crazy. If there's one big critique I have of the game, is that this is one of those games where you're out in like the actual environment, you know, hunting for monsters and stuff like that. There's no music or anything. It's complete silence. I hate that, especially if you have like a semi-open world or world game. Like put some tones in there. Let me relax to some Monster Hunter beats or something. I just don't like that. So it definitely is like, I'm like, where's the especially because Monster Hunter, y'all got a whole orchestra. Put them boys to work. Give me some music. But the actual like game, like when you're in battle and stuff like that, that music, that OST is really good. And some of the story elements are a little bit hit or miss for me. I'm not going to go too much in detail for sake of time, but some of the story elements are kind of weird and wonky to me. But overall, I think it is a solid game. If you're somebody who is a fan of Monster Hunter, you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, I think this is a cop. Or if you can wait for sale because we got a lot of games coming out. A lot of games came out during last month. So if you're catching up on games or whatever, catch a game on a sale too. So that's it for my impressions of Monster Hunter. And moving on, before we go into the news, let's talk about One Piece Season 2 for the live action. We got season 2 of the live action One Piece before season 2 of the actual anime. Isn't that crazy, y'all?
Crazy, dude. That's insane, bro. I ain't even think of it that way. That's insane.
We got season 2 of live action One Piece before season 2 of One Piece. It's a crazy world we live in. But I have obviously huge fan of One Piece, as you can tell by the background over there. I'm a huge fan of One Piece, so obviously I'm gonna stick it. And then to give my thoughts, as far as I was someone who went into this one and hated it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I the beauty of nuance. There's still like, even though I'm gonna sing this show's praises in the future. Trust me, guys. I know. Before you click off the video, before it's like, you're negative. Relax. Hold on. Let's practice some patience. I still am of the mindset that I just don't care for live action anime. There's never a world where I exist where any anime that I have watched in my entire life, there's never a thought where I'm like, man, I wish this was live action. It's never a thought that has occurred to me, and it never will occur to me. But if you do it well, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due, and I'm gonna give credit where credit due is One Piece. Season 1, like I said, I went into it, wanted to hate it. Really enjoyed it. Overall, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. There are some things that I really like. I think the cast is phenomenal. I think the cast is very well done. From Luffy, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Zoro, they all bring a 10 out of 10 performance in my opinion. There's some story elements that I wasn't the biggest fan. Like the way they handled Beretti, I didn't like how they did that, especially with often Don Krieg off screen. Did not like that. With the season 1 live action. You don't remember that?
Oh yeah, I had to take back. It's been so long.
Because
that's what threw me off.
Mihawk killed him off screen basically, and I didn't like that because I'm a huge fan of Sanji. Sanji's one of my favorite characters in One Piece, and the Don Krieg is kind of
you brought it back to memory now because I'm like, look, that's what I'm
Don Krieg is a pretty. I'm not gonna say he's like the most, but it is his.
It's a moment.
It's a moment in the Beretti arc to me that like. I kind of didn't like how they did that for the sake of just introducing Mihawk early. It didn't make any sense to me. And then also, this is a small nitpick, a very, very small nitpick. So like this, to take this as just me complaining for the sake of complaining or yapping. But I didn't like the way they handled the hat scene with Luffy and Nami. I just think obviously this is just cadence, just preference of cadence. I just like how he does it in the anime where it's like, Atarimaito! But in the anime, he's like, of course I will. It just didn't hit the same. The emotions didn't hit the same for me. not any slack to Luffy's voice actor, or not voice actor, but his actor.
Live action.
He does a great job. But that moment, it didn't hit home for me. So, moving on from that, I was thoroughly excited for season 2. I'm looking forward to it because I think even though let's understand the bar is really low when it comes to live action. It's in hell. So it doesn't take much to do a good job, but they still did a great job. But I was still looking forward to season 2. So much so that my homies, we actually went to an event. AMC was doing an event this week where they were premiering the first 2 episodes of the live action in theaters. So I went to go attend that. And if you go there, they give you show right here. They give you a little poster. You know what I'm saying? As proof, just in case people try to go like, you didn't go, you're lying. No, they give you a poster for attending the event. And they also give you a t-shirt as well for attending the event. So I went there just in case people want to try me. And I really enjoyed the theater experience. It was really cool. Basically, you kind of got a little special message from Anaki, who is the actor for Luffy, and also Oda himself says a couple words about the production and his thoughts on the live action. So it's a pretty nice detail. Also got a little cameo at the end for Crocodile's actor, who says a couple things about his role in the live action and basically where he's going to be in season 2 and season 3. So some nice little extra behind the scenes things that you did if you went to the theater experience. But overall, to give my overall thoughts of season, I won't be too long. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a step up. I think that a lot of the things, again, the cast, whoever is in charge of the casting is doing a great job. Robin, in particular, dog. Yes, absolutely yes.
Hey, look, man, as
perfection.
A Robin fan, you understood the assignment, G. You listened to my prayers, G.
Perfection. Her Miss All Sunday fit, and then her actual the all black fit that they showcased later on in the season. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, y'all did it good. Vivi's actor, all the races aside, yes, absolutely yes. She does a fantastic job as Vivi. Chopper, I think Chopper's CGI. Well, this is where one of my critiques comes in. I think the CGI for Chopper, his regular little cute form, I think is really good. His grown-up form does not look good. It's like an uncanny valley. If you guys, when I was watching it with my homies, because we all watched it on the Discord together. If you guys remember Dr. Seuss, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the live action, the Whoville people, he looks like that. He looks like a Whoville resident, and it doesn't look good. It does not look good. So no shade, but maybe tune up the CGI for that particular form, especially because it doesn't give me hope for any of his other forms in the future. Just because that one does not look good.
Gonna look crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, just the set pieces, the environment. I think that also want to give a shout out to Alvida's actor too. She lost weight in between this season and the next season, because obviously when Alvida comes back in Logtown, she's skinny and she has the devil fruit. So props to the actress for Alvida for doing that. That's awesome. And I'm glad that they kept it, because they could have easily just been like, oh, recast, but I'm glad they kept her, and she did her thing. She did a great job with that. But yeah, Logtown, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, Drum Island, like all the set pieces for the show in the anime and the live action were done justice. I think that the emotions were there, like the Laboon stuff. It all hit. I think that if I can kind of summarize it, this show has soul. That's why I like what I like about the show. It doesn't feel like, obviously, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's a cash grab because they want to make money. It's for One Piece fans. There's a market for this, but it's not a soulless cash grab. It's not a lazy cash grab. It's not a, it's very obvious we want to take money from you. It feels like this is an actual love letter to not only fans of One Piece, but newcomers as well, because there's a lot of people who are not into anime like that. And if this is a way for them to see some of the things that we really like in a way that they can digest, I think this is okay for the future of the industry if it's handled right. And I think One Piece has been doing a great job. Shout out to just a couple things before I end it. Shout out to Brooke, the live action actor for Brooke. I'm just glad that this anime is really peeling back the layers of the overall One Piece fan base and just making you realize that like a lot of y'all are just racist, misogynistic, and it's crazy too. Because I can't understand how you can be a fan of One Piece and be all those things. It's like being a One Piece. It's like being a One Piece fan and being a fan of our current government. I won't go into politics like that, but if you're a fan of One Piece and you are a fan of our current government, crazy. Actually, crazy how you could be. I know how you can say that.
I know a few people like that, G, and I'm like, bro,
I don't know how.
What understand?
What series have you been watching? Because nothing about One Piece reflects anything positive going on in our current political climate. Man, but I digress.
Man, look, bro, I could offer Luffy a freaking big arch, and he's gonna sit there and take everybody out.
So, all in all, absolutely fantastic. Again, I can maybe have a separate video or some other going more into details about things that specifically happened throughout the show. But I would give this a solid 8 out of 10. Again, I think it's a positive step in the right direction. I'm looking forward to season 3. I'm looking forward to seeing what they cover in Alabasta. Even some of the stuff they took liberties on, like introducing certain characters early, but makes sense in the context of the show. Like Bartolomeo was in Logtown, which obviously we didn't see him in the anime in Logtown. But when Bartolomeo said, "Hey, I was there when I saw Buggy trying to execute you," so he was there in the live action. We saw Sabo early in the live action, so yeah, a lot of it, but it makes sense for the context of where they are. So again, I think what they're doing is a great job. I'm not gonna say shout out Netflix, shout out to Oda, and shout out to the production and the crew for bringing to life something that a lot of people thought was myself included. I thought it was impossible to do a really good live action One Piece adaptation, but y'all have proven me wrong, and hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. So let me know your thoughts on the One Piece live action for season 2 if you've seen it. Yay, nay, meh. Want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So moving on to news. We got a couple things in the news segment to talk about with a little bit of an update on something we talked about before, which is
Highguard's in the dirt. It's in the dirt.
We have gathered here today to talk about the fall of the most obvious thing that has happened in the gaming industry, which is Highguard. Jokes aside, the writing was on the wall. Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunately, it was on the wall. This game was doomed from conception. I do want to highlight a couple things before I give my thoughts, and I'll let Chris J give his thoughts on the situation. One, I am someone who I don't like to celebrate games shutting down. I think obviously from a job's point of view, me being a grown man and working a job myself, it sucks to lose a job, especially when it comes to something like the gaming industry, where you spend years working on this project, pouring your heart and soul into this project, only to be screwed over by executive leadership and shareholders when it comes to the overall direction of the game. But still, you do your job and you try to do it well. And the game doesn't even last. It only lasted 45 days, a month and a half.
Nuts.
Which is, you last longer than Concord, so there you go. But it sucks from that point of view because, again, a lot of these developers are talented people. They're just put in the wrong situations due to executive leadership and shareholders. There was a lot of shenanigans behind the scenes. There was news that came out that because this game kind of propped itself up, and even Jeff Keighley hyped it up during the Game Awards. It's like, oh, this is a this is an indie self-published studio, and to come to find out that behind the scenes they were being funded by Tencent. So, and Tencent saw the writing on the wall, saw the low player count, and said, yeah, we going from that. It's unfortunate, but I mean, this is how it works. I think it's just one of those things where I really hope that, even though again I don't root for games closures, but I hope that this is cope at this point, that the gaming industry takes this as a sign of things that we just don't want, right? A lot of these game companies are still trying to chase that live service high that is called Fortnite. Everybody wants to be the next Fortnite. You're not going to, at least not now. You're not going to be the next Fortnite. I understand it's a juggernaut in and of itself. It is, I don't know if you want to call it a lightning in a bottle or whatever, but whatever Epic did with that game, they did it and they were super successful. But just because they did it does not mean you can do it. Stop being trend chasers and start being market leaders. Like Sony sort of learned its lesson with Concord, because before Concord they were planning 12 live service games in development. Due to Concord's failure, they halved it, so now it's 6. A part of me also believes that God of War live service game that got Blue Point Game Studio shut down was a part of that 12 and why they cut them off too as well. But again, in this industry, especially if you're a live service game, I don't even want to say it's an oversaturated market, but there are already there's juggernauts already. So in Highguard, you had the smart idea of being free to play. There's a lot of studios that will release a live service game that costs money, and I just think at this point in time, you're alienating a lot of people by having a paywall at the front if you're doing a live service game. But it's being a live service game in this current state of our industry is very high risk, high reward. And again, a lot of y'all are still chasing that Fortnite high, but the thing that you have to realize is that it is gamers who prop games up, whether it be an indie game, a AA game, a AAA game, live service, or even a gacha game. If gamers see that this is a product that is worth playing, worth buying, worth supporting, they will do your job for you. And unfortunately, when it comes to Highguard, there's just so many things that just you kind of didn't hit it. You radio silence in between the game awards and your game's release. Not a lot of big content when you first released the game. You did do that emergency patch where you patched in the 5v5 mode, but it's like, if you had that there, why didn't you just release it when the game started? You released rank like basically the week that you were shutting down on March 12th. So it's just a lot of just weird stuff where it's just like, I feel like if you really did take the time to properly market your game and capitalize on sort of, I guess, the layup that Jeff gave you guys during the Game Awards, I feel like you probably would have been in a little bit of a better situation. I don't want to say you would be like competing on the level of like a Fortnite or whatever other live service, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, all these big juggernauts in the industry right now, but it would have helped you. And it's an unfortunate situation. Definitely feel for the developers of the game. Hopefully you guys can bounce back and find some game. This market is trash right now, but hopefully you guys can find work. And my ultimate hope, even though it's big cope at this moment, is that you executive leaderships and you shareholders realize that this is not what we want in gaming. Stop being trend chasers. And with that, Chris, what are your thoughts on this situation?
As always, just piggybacking what you're saying, it's unfortunate people are losing their jobs, especially indie developers, and they get coming off. It's me, like when you mention 10, I'm like tax write-off. I hate, like, we jokingly say it.
Yeah,
you were a tax write-off to them, and this just an example that it shows, and it's unfortunate, especially in this economy we are in, the weird state gaming is in, and we've been preaching this for a while now on this podcast, that the live service chasing the Fortnite high is a very dangerous game that a lot of these publishers, specifically, not even developers, publishers are playing. We've seen it with Ubisoft with The Division. And yeah, Division still has a player base that I'm still surprised that they entertain, but that didn't capitalize on what Fortnite should have been. Call of Duty with Activision, trying their hardest to the point where literally The most recent COD got outsold by Battlefield. And then now Battlefield's in a weird situation itself with EA. But once again, sports games. Let's just use recently with WWE 2K26. You have a DLC. People buy the season pass to have access to it. But what do you add? You add a live service thing, a royale mode, and all of that for like Fortnite. I mean, not battle royale. I mean battle pass. And you screwing up your people. Why? Just so you can consistently get people to throw their dollars into your game, and that is unfair. We are in a poor state of this economy. Live service is not the way. People do not have money. We'll go into further detail shortly on another topic in news, but people don't have money. And I really, really wish these publishers would stop toying around with it. Let these developers make games that they really want to make. It's okay to drop a single player game when we talk about the success of something shortly. Players just want to have good games to play. Yes, Fortnite makes plenty of money, but Fortnite is an anomaly that is chasing Fortnite at this point. Fortnite's biggest opposition is Fortnite. It's not Highguard. It's not even Call of Duty no more. It is Fortnite. Prime Fortnite, as in when Cam and I would play consistently. That's what we're talking about, type of Fortnite. When the drum gun was God tier. That's what they're chasing. So stop trying to compete or even try to be like, because all these live service games are slowly but surely going to hell. Let these indie developers make truly passion projects that they can invest in and be happy about. That's why I feel like I really hope a lot of indie devs do push for, but also understand you trying to do what you can to make money. But Cam, you said the most important thing. As gamers, we have the biggest say in terms of what we want. And the numbers won't lie. The sales numbers will not lie at all when it comes to it. And it sucks for Highguard. I really believe these developers will find jobs elsewhere, even though this market sucks. But I really hope they do. But also, don't lose your dream and passion for developing games. Don't. It just sucks that what happened, But those are my thoughts on it.
Yep. So let us know your thoughts overall on the Highguard situation. It's like again, we can make jokes about it, Concord 2 and all this other stuff, but again, for the overall state of the gaming industry, it's never really a good thing when like all these games get shut down like that. So moving on from that, we have a sloppy breakup. I want to say it's a sloppy breakup. I'm just making jokes. But basically, it has come out that Sony is confirming that they are no longer releasing games on Steam. So like, I think they said like, essentially you're not getting Ghost of Yotei. You're not getting Ghost of Yotei for Steam in any of that in the future. Nah. So I'm going to put on my capitalist cap, my CC, put my CC on. This is, and I know again, in terms of gaming, I will always advocate for options. It's always good to have options for us, right? For us as gamers, ultimately, it's like Steam, PlayStation, whatever. I just want to play. Me personally, I kind of say I'm in the 1% of like a hardcore gamer where I have everything. So I have no loyalties to any brand or whatever. I just want to play video games. I may have a preference towards Sony because that's what I grew up in and I'm comfortable playing games on a PlayStation controller. But if I have to get an Xbox, if I have to boot up my PC or my gaming laptop, I have to boot up my Switch too, don't care. I just want to play video games. But if you're thinking about it, and I'm not defending them, I'm just trying to give you guys the mindset of Sony. The reason why Sony made this decision is because unlike Xbox, because like Xbox is like, I don't know. We just got news also. I didn't put this on here, but Xbox has basically announced their next console code name. It is Project Helix, but still the future of Xbox hardware is up in the air right now.
Hardware as a whole isn't up in the air. And as a whole, but more specifically for Xbox, going back to the Series X, because again, like they said, they pretty much converted to software and Game Pass.
They definitely did not care about their hard. Well, I mean, if they cared about it, they didn't show it with their hardware sales. But Sony, when it comes to PlayStation, they need to sell consoles. One, because I think Sony pretty much always sells their products at a loss, essentially meaning that they're selling it, the cost to manufacture is not reflected in the cost to purchase. So they need to sell consoles. And so the mindset, now I'm taking you in the mindset of somebody who you own a PC, you don't own a PlayStation, you have no intention of owning a PlayStation. But guess what? You get access to PlayStation games. So now your mindset is, okay, well, I may have to wait like a year, maybe 2 years, like 1 to 2 years for the game to come out, but I'll still be able to play it on my PC. So what's the point of me buying a PlayStation? They don't want you to have that thought. That thought is very dangerous to Sony. They want you to own a PlayStation. So when God of War comes out on the PS6, they don't want you to have the mindset of, oh, well, in a year or two, I'll be able to play it on Steam, mods and all this other stuff. I'll be able to play it on, whatever controller support I want with 4K, 120 FPS with super ray tracing and all this shenanigans, all this nerd stuff, right? They don't want you to have that mindset. They want you to be like, oh, snap, this new God of War game looks good. Guess what? You can only play it on the PlayStation 6.
Have fun.
That's it. That is basically the reason why they made this decision. Now, again, from a business mindset, it makes sense. Limit the market to force you to buy. CC cap. That's the CC. That's capitalist cam. Limit the market to force you to buy. And when it comes to PlayStation, people are going to buy PlayStation 6. Like people are going to buy PlayStation 6. This isn't like the Xbox or anything like that. People, when PlayStation 6, hopefully, eventually, we'll talk about it later. When it comes out, people are going to buy it because they have strong exclusives. They have things that you would want to buy a PlayStation for. But for someone who is only a PC player, but you like to play these PlayStation games, they want to convince you, hey, yeah, you liked playing God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Horizon. Come on to this PS6. That's what they want to do. Now, whether or not they'll be successful, according to you, is a different story. It's your wallet, it's your money. If you want to buy it, cool. If not, cool. But I'm just giving you my thoughts on the matter. Like I said, ultimately, I'm a guy for options. So I would love for in the future, for them to keep the relationship as far as like they release it on PlayStation, 1 to 2 years down the line, they drop it on PC. But the way this current market is, not gonna happen. So it sucks. Before anybody calls me a Sony pony, it sucks. But that's just the direction that they're going. Chris, what are your thoughts on the matter?
And I agree with everything you said. Capitalistic cap on and everything, G. Guess what? Our economy is in hell. Even everybody's economy sucks. So with that all said, Sony's doing what they need to do best, which is look after Sony's paychecks. So guess what? Yeah, unfortunately, you PC gamers, y'all ain't gonna be able to make god dang, I just played the damn game. I forgot shorty name. Atsu and enhance her, like y'all did with Grace, you freaking losers. But with that all said, it's okay. It's okay. Y'all don't have to worry about turning the Yote 6 into legit animals. You don't have to. Because guess what? You're going to fork over that $5.99 that was going to go into a RAM, overpriced RAM right now, by the way. And you can play Ghost of Yote as Sony intended you to do. Just, it is what it is. That's the world we live in. It sucks. I'm saying it so. But guess what? That allows Sony to be able to focus on what they want to do best, on the exclusives, and not have to worry about having a team separate on coding it for PC gamers. So hey, it is what it is. It sucks. It was a cool, nice run, but it is what it is. G, that's all.
Price of the brick went up.
So
Let us know your thoughts on that news in the comment section below. We got some updates on Overwatch. So Jeff recently,
hey, this is hilarious.
Jeff recently appeared on a podcast to give his kind of details on his experience with Overwatch and kind of the things that led him to removing himself from Blizzard Activision. It basically, I'm going to give you this TLDR. Essentially, Overwatch was too successful. Crazy to say, Overwatch was too successful. The game made too much money, got too much recognition, and again, I talked about this in our previous episode, the lie of perpetual growth. These shareholders, executive leadership, when they report to these shareholders, the conversation is not, hey, Overwatch, you made us $500 million. That's awesome. What a great product. The conversation is, you made me $500 million.
And need more.
How you gonna make me $1 billion?
You make more.
How you gonna make me $1 billion?
Make more.
Essentially, it boils down to Jeff telling them like, hey, look, bro, we don't have the resources to do this. Like we, again, saying we, there was a lot of split opinions on essentially because Jeff already had proposed the idea of Overwatch 2 while Overwatch 1 was still kicking, as far as the whole PvE system. And, the studio was split between prioritizing PvP, prioritizing PvE, with shareholders going like, hey, y'all made us a lot of money.
Now make more.
We need more money. And Jeff is like, brother, we don't have the resources. So basically, he was saying 2016, 2017, he felt in control of the studio. But when the competitive Overwatch League came into picture, that's when things kind of started to fall apart. And then ultimately, it culminated into what he describes as the biggest FU moment in his career, where essentially he got called up to office by his CFO. And he was like, look, you got to make us this much money in 2020. And if you don't, 1,000 people getting fired. And that's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault.
Your fault. It's nasty work.
It's just crazy. Crazy work. So that ultimately resulted in Jeff being like, hey, look, man, I'm out. And I don't blame him. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are kind of surprised by this, but if you've been in corporate America like me, not even just stuff about the gaming industry, if you've been in corporate America like I have for the amount of years I've been in corporate America for my life, it's unfortunately put my capitalistic cap back on. Same old, same old. The grunts always pay the price, while executive leadership and shareholders will always get a free pass. They don't have to pay for the consequences of their actions in any way, shape, or form. It sucks. And the funny part of it, the ironic part being that the reason why all this happened was because Overwatch was too successful as a game. It's crazy, which goes to like I said, this gaming industry is a weird anomaly, because you can be successful and get laid off. You can be unsuccessful and get laid off. It doesn't matter. As long as you are nothing but a sales figure to these shareholders at the end of the day. And if they could trade you in for a penny, they'll trade you in for a penny. That's just how this industry, that's just how capitalism works in general. But especially when it comes to the gaming industry, it's just how it works, bro. It's all about that bottom line. It's all about that profit at the end of the day. What are your thoughts, Chris?
Hey, man. For one, shout out to Jeff for speaking the truth. And honestly, I'm glad he did, because once again, it opens up the doors of just like, hey, I was literally the face of the biggest game of the mid-late 2010s. That in Overwatch and Fortnite, you can argue say it's the face of that era. And literally, I left because it was getting too big for myself. I respect it. And when it gets to a point where how he says, I'm at fault, if people get fired, if this game don't make money, it's crazy. That's too much pressure to have on one human being. One human being responsible for 1,000 people's lives, G.
Their livelihood is crazy.
And for one, that tells me more about the type of man that Jeff is. Jeff of Overwatch, because he's always Jeff from Overwatch in my heart.
Yep.
I respect him a lot more as a man. I'm pretty sure he had an NDA. And as soon as that joint expired, that man found a podcast he enjoyed listening to.
I'm ready. It's funny is the NDA was probably 10 years because 2026 Overwatch came out in 2016. So as soon as that
the NDA, he wasted no time. It was like, hey, I got some news for you guys. Come on, I like y'all, so I'm about to hop on. Cool. But either way, shout out to Jeff. I respect his morals, his values as a man, and all of that. And one thing, once again, I'm glad they didn't chase him away from the gaming industry. As well, because he's working on a project as well. I think it said The Legend of California, which seems like a survival-based PvE type game. So see where it goes. I hope it does well. I really do. Yeah. Sure. But either way, it just, once again, I'm just hoping people pay attention and listen and be like, this is showing with these really big publishers like Activision Blizzard, what EA,
they prioritize,
Ubisoft. It's about the damn dollar. And once again, it's chasing the high and the success of what Fortnite has done. The difference is Fortnite is free and they are charging people for Overwatch still. They charge for Overwatch 2, right?
No. They went Overwatch 2 and originally Overwatch 1. That's probably what led to the whole, because again, they made them like $500 million its first year, something like that. And again, for a shareholder, especially for a brand new IP that came out, it's like, oh, hold on, this game can do that many numbers. There is no conversation for this game made me $500 million year one. I'm okay with it only making me $250 million year two. No, the numbers have to consistently go up and up and up. Again, the lie of perpetual growth, the Ouroboros snake that devours itself. And so when those numbers aren't being met, it's not the shareholders who have to suffer. It's not the executive leadership that has to suffer. It's the grunts, the developers,
hard workers,
the studios, closures, all that stuff. It happens as a result of them not meeting, them falling below expectations, as always when it comes to this gaming industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I could just
mean to cut you off, Chris.
No, you good. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I could just imagine the stress of trying to, like, the first 2 years of Overwatch, fire, and trying to chase that high forever.
That's live service.
It's impossible because at the end of the day, things come out, especially when it being an Activision game, you're competing with Call of Duty, which became live service over time. So once again, you're competing with yourself on top of what's one of your already biggest brands, part of the publishing company. That's nothing but stress. But
yeah.
The industry isn't in the dirt, man.
Yeah,
it's a trend chasing the trend, and we can go ahead and go on to the next subject. What this next trend that is probably going to I won't say kill, but do great harm to this industry even more.
So yeah, it's a good segue into our next subject for our news, which is AI. Yay, love talking about AI.
Here we go again.
So I'm gonna let you take the reins on this, Chris. Go ahead and introduce us, what's happening, and give your thoughts.
So this is more an article from, let me make sure, because I want to give credit is due in regards to this, from the Wired.com, and pretty much this then this is journalism right here, people, not shame what we do with podcasts, but this is journalism right here. So I applaud what they did here. But it's just explaining how AI is harming the gaming industry at the moment. Because we already know, AI is being implemented to almost everything. Every huge corporation wants to have something AI. You can go to McDonald's, even Wendy's right now, to the drive-thru, and it's the AI taking your order and not a human freaking being. So with that said, we're seeing how it's being implemented to everything. So of course, gaming is looking like the next big thing that's going to be affected by it. So it's this article pretty much broke down how developers are getting frustrated on top of how it's affecting hardware sales as well. But it's quoting some developers saying, especially if you work in some of the ones who said they're anonymous in AAA, like we assume EA, Activision, they're fearful of rejecting it because it might cost them their jobs.
Yeah,
like that's insane to even think that an industry where it's about legit artistic mindset on a computer, and you're forced to use AI probably for basic stuff or even critical things in terms of gaming, and we're kind of seeing it already implemented. But it's crazy how developers themselves are very anti-AI in a tech-driven industry, which gaming is. But it shows you how the corporate heads are pushing them to use it instead of openly letting them implement it in a healthy manner that probably would benefit game developers, who probably will understand, oh yeah, we can use it to maybe just little stuff here, instead of, no, I want you to use AI for voice actors. Have it be the voice actor for this character here, so we don't got to worry about paying some of the best voice actors.
That's $10,000, or I'm just making up a number. That's $10,000 that we don't got to pay real people. Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, you use use an AI voice actor, so that way, make things a lot easier. No, matter of fact, no, use AI to pretty much make the backgrounds and stuff like that. Huh? No, it's not going to work that way. Use AI to make to look out for all the glitches and stuff. What is it supposed to look for? Stuff where it takes the human eye, the human touch. In gaming, I feel it's important that the humans need to stay involved in, but once again, huge corporations, capitalism. How can we remove throwing money?
I don't want to pay for QA testing. I don't want to pay for voice acting. I don't want to pay for a multi-tier development team system. I don't want to pay for all that.
I want to cut corners where necessary.
Any way I can make this, again, and we use Fortnite for an example, but any way we can make whatever is like the trend in terms of whatever I guess market you're in as far as the gaming industry, whatever genre, when it comes to FPS, live service, single player, any way that I can produce a game that looks like that, but at a huge reduced cost of production, and make an insane amount of profit for it. That is their wet dream. Their wet dream is to have a system where only AI produces everything on like a monthly basis. Every single month, a huge game comes out, and it's like the most quality 10 out of 10 perfect game that's made completely by AI. It costs them a nickel and dirt on their shoe to make, and they can make an insane amount of profit on. That is their wet dream utopian society when it comes to the game industry, and it's scary because they are consistently pushing for it. Like I gave a while ago back where Square Enix said that in the future they want 70% of their QA to be done by AI,
and that's crazy. So games is going to be coming out a lot more glitchier, or it's pointed out stuff like, no, we purposely put that in there. No, the AI says it's wrong, you should fix that. No, it shouldn't be that way. No, simple as that. Like, imagine, like, once again, I know we're talking about a lot of Resident Evil right now. Imagine if AI in the QA stage, the AI noticed that the blind man can take out other zombies. That shouldn't happen. The AI's gonna be like, no, this is unrealistic. No, we purposely put it in. There's a trophy. But no, it needs to be removed. And it stops you from forces you to remove it because the higher up said, well, the AI is right. What we doing? What we doing? So it's an unfortunate situation because we already know how AI is affecting hardware, but now it's starting to affect the software end, which is crazy in itself. Because even the article states how Sony is very hush with PS6 right now. It's like, we don't know what we're going to do because we're scared to even announce the prices how that thing may even sound right now, because the cost of RAM is insane.
Yep.
RAM is some people's rent right now. So imagine literally how much hardware cost is right now, just in terms of just trying to make and manufacture a system. So it's AI sucks. The use of AI right now sucks. Let's put it that way. The use of it sucks. So
yeah, I 1000% agree. They even mentioned a lot of stuff when it comes to the data centers and like a lot of these states. A lot of the, again, this really harkens. I'm gonna get a little bit political. Bear in mind with me. This upcoming midterm election is very important. Please go out and vote. First and foremost, I should say that. Please go out and vote. But secondly, also pay attention to stuff that is happening within your community. For all my Chicago people out here, we are in Chicago. They're planning on building, I think it's 2 data centers.
I've seen like 2 or 3. I didn't realize one is so close to my job, actually. Yes. And they actually building one by y'all old crib at Grinshaw. I was driving by that area. I was like, there's a sign saying that they're gonna build a data center right over there. Yeah.
Speak to your local alderman. Speak to your people. Rally your community. There are a lot of initiatives out there. Speak out again. Go to whatever the when they have like these public hearings and stuff like that, at these like meetings. Speak out against this stuff. If not only just because these AI data centers are just terrible and they're gonna affect your water bill, your electricity, like all this stuff that's gonna go up as a result of this. It has no positive benefit to the community, and it's also detrimental to your health as well. There's data centers down in the south that are contributing to like increased areas with cancer and things of that nature. So again, do your research, talk to your local alderman, rally your community, and speak out against this stuff. These AI data centers have no place in our community. They are not positive. They're not contributing anything. Again, these tech bros, these billionaire idiots out there that are saying that, oh, this is gonna lead to job. No, it's not doing anything at all to our communities. It is nothing but a detriment, and we need to stop them from doing this, because again, it's a bubble that's gonna pop, because they're not making any money from this stuff. They are constantly at a loss. These data centers, all this stuff that they've been bragging to you about being successful and them making a profit, they've been in the red. And it's just an amount of time before that bubble pops, which is what we're all looking at, which I'm looking forward to.
It's fast approaching. It is fast approaching. But just to piggyback, once again, definitely pay attention to who you're voting for in these midterms. And even then, for our communities itself, they're using vacant lots.
Yes.
See if you can purchase a vacant lot, these vacant fields and stuff like that. Because those are what they're going to look for. If you're gonna own the property, know what the heck you're gonna put on my land, because that helps as well. So, because look, do research on what's going on in Memphis, G. Memphis is probably a good example, plus other people. So, because it's one of those things that's being very pushed down in terms of news circles and even post-wise.
It's being swept under the rug because they just want to silently do it. And you have to understand that in order for them to even initiate the process of constructing these data centers, they have to get permission from the right people in power. So, utilize your power as a voting citizen to get these people up out of here. Use your voice to speak out against it. And again, I know we went a little bit off topic as far as gaming as a whole, but like this AI stuff not only is affecting gaming, but it's affecting our environment, your wallet, your community. Like, this stuff is important. So you have to understand that like this isn't something that's just frustrating gaming developers. It's society as a whole. This AI stuff is a prime example of what happens when you take people that have no regard for integrity, morality, or anything, and you give them a tool that only sharpens that. So it sucks. AI itself, as far as like certain support applications that even I do on a day-to-day basis as my job, can be helpful. but in the wrong hands, it can be just as detrimental. And we're seeing that a lot in a lot of different aspects of our life. So taking the political hat off, but just be aware and be mindful and exercise your power. So with that being said, move on to the last piece of news. Chris, go ahead, wrap things up for us.
At least we're gonna wrap this up with good news, people.
With positive news.
Some positive news. So let's start off with some of the positive. So back to Resident Evil 9, because guess what? It's popping. But this is a prime example of gamers speaking with their wallets and killing the narrative. There's no games. There's games.
There's no such thing as good games. There's no good games anymore.
Yeah. It's games that interest you. And for one, it's a Capcom Resident Evil game. I didn't expect Resident Evil 9 to be this successful. I thought the last one would have been a lot more successful because of Tall Mommy that was chasing you around in the beginning of the game. But guess what? People spoke with their wallets here. Resident Evil 9 first week, 5 million in terms of copies sold.
Crazy good. Crazy.
5 million copies sold. And I knew Resident Evil have a big fan base, but this is once again the casual speaking on it as well, saying, hey, this is what we're looking for. Quality, amazing games for you to be immersed in. There's DLC, of course, that was announced. We'll get to that shortly, but this is gamers saying, hey, look, I'm invested into this product. I want to see it succeed. It's single player. There's no crazy money that I need to invest in. Everything is earned, pretty much. Unless you got the deluxe edition and got special costumes. But even then, I'm pretty sure you can earn those as well. But this is gamers talking. And I want developers to understand this is what we want. This is what we want, G. So, shout out to Capcom. Once again, I will say this. Enjoy those numbers. Because there's something coming up in the fall. It's going to put you in a Melvin chokehold. But once again, for what it's worth, that's an amazing number to hit.
Yes.
Amazing number to hit. So shout out to Capcom. Y'all got one, and y'all definitely have a Game of the Year candidate, because this game is getting so much love and from just everybody. So it's good to see, especially for a very violent rated M game too. Throwing that out there. So that says a lot in itself. Next, we also got DLC announced for the game. The director of the game of Resident Evil 9, pretty much, he's happy. He did a video blog, pretty much happy for the success of the game in itself, and announced that we are getting story mode DLC, but also I would say teased, but confirmed that we're getting a mini game mode DLC, which is going to be free. More than likely, that's going to be Mercenary. So if you play any Resident Evil game the last few years, last few releases, they do drop a Mercenaries mode where it's pretty much like a survival shooting mode, pretty much, where you just kill as much, basically. Yeah, horde mode, pretty much. Kill as many enemies as you can and blah, blah, blah. Play with various characters that were in the game or from previous games as well. So something to look forward to that will be coming out. I think they said later in the year. So
they said May. I think they said May is when
so even sooner than we expected. So by the start of the summer, this mode will be out. Then they announced that we are getting a story-based DLC that will probably be expanding. They've done it the past couple of games with 7. You had the Chris Edition DLC, pretty much what happened at the end of 7. Then 8 expanded on with Rose and what she was going like Rose. Ethan's daughter and her mission going back to the castle and all of that at the end of 8. So I'm curious what they'll do with 9. Some people are hoping for a prequel. Some are hoping for an extension of like Leon and Chris doing something crazy at the end of 9. So we will see, or even what Chris was doing during 9, because at the end of the game, people like it was hinted that, hey, Chris was doing something bigger. That's why he couldn't come save your ass, Leon. So it's curious to see what direction they'll go with the DLC with this. But I'm excited. Once again, Capcom, y'all doing that thing. Get that paper. Y'all have one. Y'all have one of the ones this year, and probably a couple more as this year goes on as well.
Yep. I'm very much looking forward to Pragmata. That's looking like a banker for me. But yeah, speaking about Golf Chris and wrap things up, I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, what about Ada? What about Jill? All these other things, because they were there too during the events of Raccoon City. Whatever direction they go with for this story expansion, I'm all for it. Any excuse to play more of Resident Evil 9, I think is good for me, because it's a really, really solid game. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to the Resident Evil 9 DLC? What do you think the mini DLC is going to be? Do you think it's going to be Mercenaries or something else? More 9 times out of 10 is going to be Mercenaries. But also, what are your theories or thoughts on the upcoming story expansion? What do you think it's going to be about, and who would you like to see as far as like the returning cast? Who would you like to see be in that DLC? So with all that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up from there. Again, had a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you stuck around for the whole thing, right there, I'm looking at you a real one, and we highly appreciate you for sticking and staying tuned with the whole thing. If you only watched a couple segments here and there, again, it doesn't matter. A view is a view in my book. But while I have you, be sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. All of those things go a long way to combating YouTube's algorithm, promoting our videos to a wider audience of fellow nerds who haven't tuned into us. And always also, look out for our social media. All the links are in the description box down below. So with all that being said, guys, thank you guys so much. Once again, God bless. See you next time.